Hello, I'm Congressman Brad Sherman, known as being from America's best named city, Sherman Oaks. A year or so ago, we moved up to Porter Ranch, where we live in the Renaissance community. And it's been interesting to bond with neighbors as we live with this challenge that faces us. Now, I'm not here to recommend any course of legal action. And I'm certainly not here to represent or encourage you to retain any particular law firm. Lisa and I have not taken any legal action. We haven't retained any particular law firm. I'm here to talk about public policy, but I do want to thank the law firms involved for inviting me here, giving me a chance to speak to so many of my constituents. Now, there in person are two very important staffers from my Sherman Oaks office. One is John Alford, who's my advisor on the environment and transportation. And I hope that you'll give him your ideas on what we can do as a matter of public policy, what additional regulations, how we make sure the Aliso Canyon leak is the last leak that affects people in this country. Also, there's my legal counsel, Carolina Kraywak, who heads our constituent service operation. She works on individual cases. If somebody isn't returning your phone calls, talk to Carolina. And the thing is, with our constituent service operation, that's available to those who live in my district. And as it happens, Porter Ranch is divided between two members of Congress. I represent about a third of Porter Ranch, whereas Congressman Steve Knight represents Aliso Canyon and represents about 2/3 of the Porter Ranch community. And so if you live in Steve's district, I invite you to contact him. We've reached out to Congressman Knight to ask him to join with me in some of the public policy efforts that we're engaged in some of the efforts to involve federal agencies. He's put up on his website that he doesn't think federal agencies should be involved at this stage. And in any case, if you have constituent service problems and you live in his district, be sure and give him a call. My staff there will give you his phone number. Now, John and Carolina will be circulating a list. I hope you'll sign up or just give them your business card so that we have your email address. I want to keep you informed of what the federal government is doing and what is being proposed. I want to invite you to my town hall meeting, including my telephone town hall meeting on the 26th of January. And I want to make sure that you're notified of the committee hearing, the Assembly Committee hearing that's going to convene on January 21, where I'll be testifying, but it's being put together by Assemblyman Mike Gatto, who's chairman of the Assembly Utility Committee, and of course Mike Gatto ran my constituent service office back in his prior life. And we'll also keep you informed, if we get your email address, of whatever help is available from the Small Business Administration. We are trying to argue to the SBA that low-interest loans should be provided to both businesses and homeowners affected by this incident. I want to talk about the past, the present, and the future. Aliso Canyon is America's 5th largest storage facility, and we are now experiencing the largest natural gas leak in the history of the United States. There are some 115 wells that were drilled mostly to extract oil from the sandstone and creating a vacant pocket that has been used for natural gas storage for many decades. Of those 115 wells, one of them developed this leak. That still leaves 114 others that we need to be concerned about as we go forward. In 1979, this well was inspected, and they decided to remove the subsurface safety valve. What they should have done, of course, is replace that valve with one of the modern valves, whether they did that in '79 or some other time. If they had just done that by 2014, we wouldn't be talking together today. We're going to have to be concerned not only with this well, but in the future, the other 114. Now, this one well, I believe it's called SS-25, was tested in late 2014. But they used what I would describe as primitive testing. They tested to make sure that a leak was not in progress. They did not use any of the sophisticated techniques, including ultrasonic testing, to determine whether there were anomalies in the pipe that could develop into leaks later. Obviously, SoCalGas should have installed on every one of these wells a deep subsurface positive pressure modern subsurface safety valve. That wasn't done. Obviously, modern testing should have been done on every one of these wells. It wasn't. But it's not just SoCalGas that did not act. Government did not act as well. State regulations and federal regulations apparently didn't require that subsurface safety valve unless the wells were within 300 feet of a playground, school, or home, and they're not. And the state and federal regulations did not require the kind of sophisticated testing. As we go forward, we need to work nationwide to make sure that natural gas is transported safely and stored safely. So let's look at the present. This leak started, as you know, on October 24th of last year. They are on target to stop the leak sometime in March. In the meantime, SoCalGas has agreed to relocate those families that need to be relocated and to provide filters to those who remain. The EPA, the leading federal agency, did not think that they should get involved. They cited to us regulations that they said deprive them of jurisdiction in this area. We did the legal research and responded to them that there was a statute that did in fact give them jurisdiction. Since then, since late last year, the EPA has been involved both to provide technical assistance from the federal level and hopefully to learn from this incident how we need to change natural gas storage nationwide. At my urging and the urging of many others, Governor Brown has issued an emergency declaration, the chief effect of which is to give state agencies the power to order people to do what needs to be done. They have ordered that natural gas be pulled out of this facility as quickly as possible, but only to the extent that the natural gas can be sold or stored elsewhere. Now, the storage elsewhere is almost impossible. Not only is Aliso Canyon the 5th largest storage facility in the country, but in the greater LA Basin area, it constitutes about 85% of all the storage. There's very little storage elsewhere, and so really SoCalGas is only willing to extract what they can sell. And in order to deal with other system problems that will arise this summer, they're even reluctant to do that as we move through leaks and withdrawals, the working gas, and we may be down to as little as 30 billion cubic feet of working gas. But in addition to that, there's 60 billion cubic feet, and that's an estimate. I get a little conjecture on that, but roughly 60 billion cubic feet of working gas, which SoCal Edison and frankly the governor's office is reluctant to see removed from Aliso Canyon because their focus is on gas reliability in the future, and SoCalGas also views this natural gas as an asset that they do not want to withdraw unless they can sell it at full price. I don't regard this gas in Aliso Canyon as an asset. It's a toxin, and it needs to be removed as quickly as possible. That will, and a lot of my efforts are to try to persuade the governor to order that natural gas be withdrawn as quickly as possible, sell it at full price if you can, sell it at a discount if you can't, get electric generation facilities not only to generate the electricity we need in Los Angeles, but this being winter, they're not generating electricity as quickly as they can. Their peak electric demand is in the summer with air conditioning, so they can produce more electricity and sell it at a big discount on the grid. SoCalGas should be willing, if necessary, to provide additional natural gas to its customers for free, to increase usage, and to pull this natural gas out as quickly as possible. The more you pull out, the less pressure there is. The less pressure there is, the slower the leak. And also the less pressure there is, the more likely it is that the efforts to cap and seal this leak are going to be successful. When we go on to the future, we have in this country a natural gas transmission integrity protocol or system. We do not have an equally sophisticated natural gas storage protocol. And what this incident has proven is that natural gas and the mercaptan that's added to it and the volatile organic compounds that are trace parts of it, collectively, that's a toxin. And it's not just a matter of worrying about what might explode. We have to also worry about the effects this has on the human respiratory system. And that's why we need, as we go forward, to have a nationwide system that requires the subsurface safety valves and the modern versions with the positive pressure that will go off automatically if there's an earthquake or any other disturbance. We need to see the same level of sophistication used in dealing with the pipes that go down into a storage facility as we use for the transmission pipes. And whether that means a smart pig or whether that means ultrasonic testing needs to be worked out. But the idea that we should just have monitoring to determine whether the pipe is leaking is insufficient. We have to know about anomalies. And we have to look at the Aliso Canyon facility. Should the plans of most involved using that facility to store natural gas well before the hottest summer months and the peak use of natural gas for electric generation? Should natural gas be stored at Aliso Canyon? Are we going to continue to allow 114 wells that have many of the same problems as the one well that caused the leak? Are we going to continue to not have subsurface safety valves just because the wells are not within 100 feet or 300 feet of a home? Are we going to just rely on pipe that was put in the ground in the 1950s? Are we going to continue to put mercaptan in the natural gas that is stored in Aliso Canyon? These are questions that need to be addressed, and we as residents of Porter Ranch can't go to sleep just when the leak is plugged. We need to be active and involved and make sure that nothing unsafe is happening near our homes or anywhere else near homes in Los Angeles and the San Fernando Valley. So I look forward to getting your input. You can please contact John Alford and Carolina Kraywak. They're right there. They're probably waving to the crowd right now. Don't hesitate to send me an email at brad.sherman@mail, that's MAIL, .house.gov. The House is for House of Representatives. And I look forward to working with you to protect the residents of Porter Ranch, both those in my district and those just outside, and to make sure that natural gas storage in our area and around the country doesn't pose a threat to human health. Thank you very much. I'm Brad Sherman.